Have me on.
Not at all. Pleasure. Thank you for coming in to chat to me. I did a quick chat with you in June of last year, it's hard to believe, about your book. Talk to me about your book.
I suppose the book is an emphasis on people understanding foods, then it goes through the likes of either buying your own and or growing it and the benefits of it. Sunlight being a massive part to play, especially in the climate that we're living in. We're getting a lot of rain, but remember that sun is something that actually improves your health, improves your blood flow, and the idea is we get outside. Exercise is part of the book as well, and we're literally the minimum requirement, whether you're my 3-year-old niece or my 96-year-old granny, walking is essential.
What's the name of the book?
The name of the book is The Power of Organic Fitness. It's an Amazon #1 bestseller. I'm a dyslexic by trade, if you want to call it that, and I'm so proud to have it. Being from the likes of Colman, being a Waterford man, and getting it out there onto the likes of different platforms. And I'm super grateful to have people buying it in abundance. And just want to say to the people, thanks so much for doing that. Do you know what I mean? Really, I'm just a small individual who's up and coming all the time, and just grateful for anybody who, I suppose, listens and or reads the content I put out on a daily basis.
Okay, your podcast, name of the podcast?
Again, simple as always. It's my name, Colman Power, but spell it with an E, without an E, Colman, and then Power, then Organic Fitness after that. That's the name of the podcast show. That's on Spotify, it's on Stitcher, it's on YouTube each and every week. I have an Instagram page, again, my name. We have Twitter, you have TikTok, you have YouTube, you name it, I'm on it.
What do you do for a living?
That's like, do you know what I mean? Asking me a very difficult question. I do a lot of things, so I was actually...
No, the reason I'm asking is because like you're so busy. It sounds like you're so busy and you're wondering, oh, gee, how does he make a crust?
No, I would help people too, I suppose, on a regular basis, either grow their own. I do site visits for people. So last week I was in Malahide. Next week coming, I'm going to the likes of Mullingar. I was down in Cork this weekend just gone. And as a result of that, it's, I suppose, either showing people simple things. It's a life skill, growing your own fruit and vegetables, literally sowing them from seed, which is something that I studied in college. I studied in WIT called SE2 now. Then I went on to do a master's degree in organic horticulture. So I have in UCC, so I have an MSc in specialising in organics in particular, which is actually the future, which is actually the past, in fact, because we actually used to grow like that. Our grandfathers or even our fathers, depending on where they were currently based, everyone grew potatoes. Everyone had an apple tree out in their back garden. The idea is we all had turnips, we all had carrots. We've gone so far away from actually where real food is actually produced, and we're wondering why we're getting sicker and sicker. We're eating processed foods.
You're sitting here in front of me in a t-shirt, a grey t-shirt, and it has the CPOF on it. Colman Power Organic Fitness. You look very healthy. You're putting me to shame now because I haven't been able to train because I've been injured for the last 10 weeks, and I just rejoined the gym there recently and talking about muscle mass and upper body fitness and stuff like that. You're the picture of health. Mm-hmm. How do you do it?
I do something that some people would nearly say is extraordinary, but it's not. I don't do anything that isn't out of the norm, all right? The idea is I go to bed early. I get up early. I do my stretching routine. I do a walk and or a jog. I do a sea swim. I do the likes of my daily practice, which is work involved in nutrition and or going to sites or schools, and that is, I suppose, how I factor in real foods. I have my breakfast either made from the night before, maybe overnight oats, with the three main things the body runs off. That's proteins, that's fats and carbohydrates, right, in its simplest form. I'd be recommending people to go Flavin's organic oats, simple switch up to more organic. I went to Kilmac Thomas Secondary School myself, and again, that's something that's going to cost you an extra 50 cents to, I suppose, gain the advantage of something that hasn't been sprayed with the likes of harsh chemicals. So that's a simple thing. Eggs, nature's multivitamin, I would have them on a regular basis. And then on top of that, I would always add in some form of greens. That would literally be the emphasis of what I would recommend to more and more people to do if they're looking for improved health.
It's too perfect, Colman. It's too perfect.
But
I say that jokingly, because it's not. It's absolutely brilliant. I started going to bed myself early again recently. Like, what? Somebody listening to this now and wants to take away something very practical on this to help improve their life and to help get into that mindset that you're talking about. Going to bed early, getting up earlier. Talk to me. Just even, what sort of times are we talking about?
The time isn't necessarily specific to any one number on the clock. It's specific to yourself. Going to bed 30 minutes earlier will save you an abundance of time out the other side of it. Because people say, I don't have enough time. That's the biggest excuse I hear every single day of the week. And the thing about it is, all right, we're not making any more time, so you have to make a priority. That 30 minutes in the morning, you can fit in some form of a walk, some form of an exercise, meal prepping, either your breakfast or your lunch. For the most part, then we're going home, we're having a dinner, cooking from scratch. So then that's the idea, that you take that priority in the morning to do whatever it is that you're lacking in your healthy lifestyle to make an improvement on that.
Does this allow for you to have moments where you move outside of those routines? Like, how does one bring spontaneity into one's life?
I suppose that is a great question too. Spontaneity. What's the idea that you couldn't have spontaneity from the likes of whatever time moment you get up in the morning to whatever time you want to pick to go into bed? People think that we, I suppose, should be staying up late, but you can, but you'll suffer, and the only person that's going to suffer is yourself and your health. And the idea is your health is your wealth, and literally a lifestyle of healthy eating and going to bed that little bit more regular, and or incorporating foods that help with sleep. So just touch on 3 different food items that will help you with sleep. Okay, being an organic grower and someone who's really into, I suppose, getting magnesium into your diet, it's found in every dark leafy green. That's kale. That's even Brussels sprouts that are coming into season right now. So if you haven't them grown yourself, all right, I want you to really buy a packet of seeds. GIY is another, I suppose, massive emphasis here in Waterford. You can get seeds from them, and they've sent them out to every school throughout Ireland. So you get your hands on a packet of kale seeds, some Brussels sprouts for next year, because we've actually gone past the period of time to sow them, but also rocket, minsuna are 2 massive dark leafy greens you can sow in yogurt tubs. And I go into schools and or small companies to show people how easy it is to grow your own and then contain those magnesium, nutrient-dense mineral that you can help yourself to, I suppose, fall into a deeper sleep. That's where we're lacking. About 80% of people are actually lacking in magnesium. Dark chocolate, often people are and should be consuming a little bit more of it, and or cacao. All right, that's the 15 grams. That is 40% of your daily recommended amount of magnesium.
You wouldn't go eating dark chocolate at night, though, would you?
Well, I would have no problem in people having a couple
Keep
of
you awake,
squares.
would it?
No, that's the least of your problems for keeping you awake. It's more so the likes of highly processed foods, and or takeaways, and or excessive, I'm going to say, artificial light. Light is actually the key to health.
Yeah, talk to me about light. This is something now that I've interviewed, as you know, Michael Kelly and lots of other people regarding organic matters, but your emphasis on sunlight and light, that's the first time I've heard that emphasis being so strong. Why is that?
I'm going to tell you, I teach people how to grow, and without light, nothing grows. No weed, no plant, no veg, no fruit. So, and that inclusive of ourselves and our cells. If we want to, I suppose, improve our health, you have to realise that that food is actually stored light, which gives us energy. But secondly, we are literally a solar panel. When we get outside, we literally gain the advantage of absorbing that. That helps us to make vitamin D, which is good for your immune system. So even in these colder, cooler temperatures heading into the likes of the winter months, that's something that actually can help you, firstly in the morning, to naturally awaken the body. And in the evening, you don't want to see an excessive amount of light. So that's why you can call it what you like. Maybe get romantic, turn off the lights, put on the candles. It's something that will gain the advantage of your body producing melatonin. Melatonin is a sleep hormone. You go into every pharmacy or doctor and he says, I'll give you a melatonin tablet. The body does it naturally when you do the simple things. It's an organic fitness lifestyle that I want more people to do.
Where did you get all this from? Where does this come from? Because everything you said to me makes sense. And I wish I was like you, in the sense that, you know, I wish I was doing all the stuff that you're doing.
And a lot of people say that, I'd love to be just like you, but you don't have to be like me. I just want you to be 1% better than you currently are right now. Adding in one more healthy food, whether you get it local, whether you get it organic, or you grow it yourself, whether you get outside, whether you do a sea swim, whether you get into a sauna, which is another thing I can talk about, the benefits of sweating. But the idea is, you don't have, I'm not perfect, nobody is. Perfect doesn't exist, but improvements do. And the idea is, you just have to, whether you have children, or the listeners or the viewers of this show do have children or partners or nieces or nephews, it makes it a little bit more difficult. All right. So all the time, you just try and do a little bit better. It's improvements we're striving for.
What's your greatest imperfection?
Oh, my greatest imperfection. God, that's a difficult one to say to me. But I'm going to say spelling. I am dyslexic by trade, and if I am to say that, my imperfection, I turned it into.
That's not an imperfection. That's just the way you are.
Well, sure. Look,
that's the way you are, and that has, as you say, turned you into something different.
Yeah, and you always walk towards your strengths. I
Yeah.
am a very poor speller. I misspelled my name in the last 6 months. I've been writing that since I'm about 4 years old. But I'm well able to speak. I've no problem in speaking because I know everything inside out, from growing your own to health and everything
Yeah.
else in between.
No, the imperfection I was meaning something like, what's the something that you'd fall down on, if that's the wrong way of putting it, or what's something that you go, is it like eating a pizza once a month, or is it something, I don't know.
Yeah, no, and that's I suppose a very good question. And being a positive individual, I don't even like to pick out the flaws, right?
Yeah.
Because you're more often than not, there's so much negativity out there. There's doom and gloom. There's news being shouted out from different countries into our ears, into our eyes on a regular basis. There's no point in focusing on those things. I focus in on the things that I'm good at and the things that I want to improve on, and that's health.
Okay, let's focus, if you wouldn't mind, then, for a minute. You are officially an organic horticulturist. Okay, you're author of The Power of Organic Fitness. You are telling me, and I remember looking at the book at the time, the aspects of food and how food is so important to your overall well-being. So you're basically saying the lifestyle that we lead has to involve an attempt to eat better food because of our guts, because of how the gut relates to our body and our mind. Is that one of the takeaways from this?
Well, certainly. Just remember that key fact that the likes of your gut and your brain are massively connected. It's called the vagus nerve. So one of those things that I tell people is, and it's a fact, is that 70% of your immune system is located in your gut. How do you improve on your immune system? You eat foods that contain fibre. What contains fibre? Every different fruit and vegetable. What's the best type of fruit and vegetables you can get? Local, fresh, and organic. Anything that I talk about and continue to talk about is actually simple, but sometimes the simple things are difficult to do. But you do your best to either grow your own or buy it, or just add it in any way, shape or form to your diet. What's the best way to cook it? People will ask me next. The best way to cook it, or the best way to eat it, is the one that you eat and consume the most of it. That's one of the key points. So the likes of another point with your gut and foods that you eat, 90% of your serotonin, that's your happy hormone, is also produced in your gut. So if you're eating better foods, everybody knows how well they feel when they eat better, when they take out the likes of the pizza, they take out the chips that they go to on a regular basis on a Friday and a Saturday, or they reduce down the amount of alcohol that they actually consume. Those are things that we know, but it's in doing that we see and we feel so much better out the other side of it. Some people need accountability. We're going into the winter months, and people have it, and I get people to focus in, that I mentor and coach online, that will get them to focus in on Christmas. Okay, that's only around the corner. Don't know I'm allowed to say the C word. I already said it too late. So we're going towards Christmas. Have a goal, have a target to literally look and feel your best on Christmas Day, whether it's in the dress, whether it's in the t-shirt or the pair of jeans. You start walking, you start eating and living and breathing a healthier lifestyle, and you will become the happiest and the healthiest version of yourself.
What about those listeners that are nodding and they agree with you and they know you're right, and yet they're already making excuses to say, it's grand for him to say that. I have 5 children to feed tomorrow or tonight. I have to make a spaghetti bolognese. I can't afford to do the Italian way with no processed stuff. I'm going to buy a jar of stuff that's full of processed salts and sugars. They know in their heart that what you're saying is right, and yet everything that society is pushing in another way is forcing them in a certain way, and they feel anxious, and they feel they want to turn off this radio now because they think they'll feel bad.
Well, I have the solution.
Please.
I have it here in my back pocket.
Okay.
I have 3 of them, would you believe it?
You're now reaching into the back pocket.
Reaching into the back pocket, the seeds are now thrown down the table. This is my deck. So anybody that tells me, right, it's difficult or it's expensive for somebody to consume chemical-free or organic produce, here it is. We have 3 in-season vegetables. I might have a 4th in my back pocket, right? This is red frills. This is the same family as the likes of broccoli, but takes roughly about 4 weeks to sow seed to harvest. This is the exact same winter purslane. It's very high in vitamin C. This is something you can add to so many different, I'm going to say, smoothies. You can add to your lunches, you can add to stir fries, and then that's literally 3 of your main meals of the day. Carrots, they're in season right now. There's different times of the year that you can sow them, and obviously covering your carrots with a net to prevent the likes of the carrot root fly. So I would always tell people that if you can't literally afford a packet of seeds, I would reach into my other pocket, I will take out €2 and give that €2 to you. As a result that you can buy one of these packets of seeds, then in on top of that, they will grow through the life cycle of any plant. You harvest the vegetable or the fruits from that exact plant. After that, it goes into flower, comes into seed. You save the seeds. I'll show you how to save the seeds. Then after that, you become self-sufficient, and you owe me that €2 back with interest. Is about €3 now. So that is literally the overall, I suppose, emphasis on anybody who says that eating organic or healthy is expensive.
It can be done.
Certainly can.
100%.
So 100%, and I'm going to show people how to do it all over the country.
Why are there so few organic farmers in this country? Why is organic food still too expensive?
It is, I suppose, in short supply, firstly, just because it's quite labour intensive, right? And on top of that, there are people not supporting a local producer in abundance. It is difficult to do it. I've set up two. Yeah.
It is, sorry. For example, even the simple fact of weeding. If you're not using chemicals to stop weeds growing, weeding can be a problem for some produce when organics. So that's more labour intensive, brings the cost up. So simple things like that. Is it possible to have more organic food grown in Ireland?
Yes, it is. Most certainly. And again, the idea is if actually we are relying on sometimes large commercial producers to give us our food. If we actually went to a small grower that are located in Waterford and are in local stores such as Arking stores very close to where we're recording this radio broadcast right now, those people are people that I recommend you to support. The local growers, Barefoot Farm in Dunhill, those are I suppose advocates for people to buy their produce to gain the advantage of supporting local, and when you're only benefiting yourself, you're also benefiting the environment.
So we have the power within our own hands.
That's exactly it.
Yeah. You were giving a talk. When and where and who can go to it?
That talk and event is, as we currently speak, is actually a sold out event. It's on in the likes of Kilmacthomas. It is on the 18th of this month, and as a result of that, I'll be showing those individuals who signed up to that, all in conjunction with Healthy Waterford, how to literally sow a tray full of seeds of in-season produce. There'll be rocket, there'll be minsuna, there'll be tatsoi. Some people might know these, but these are things that can be grown. You can grow 12 months of the year in Ireland. We live in a beautiful climate. We have the conditions to grow an abundance of food. However, we're living a fast lifestyle where we're missing it. We're missing out on health, and we're going into the drive-thrus. We're not even actually going to the drive-thrus anymore. We're ringing somebody to deliver it straight to our goddamn door, which is unbelievable. And we're wondering why we're getting sicker and sicker. I'll show people how to be healthy, and I'll show people how to support themselves, their family, and their 5 kids if they have those in on top of that.
Does it really annoy you when you see some of those ads on the telly?
Would you believe no? Because I actually don't have a television. I never had. I know that doesn't surprise people. Like, I knew we didn't have a television. Oh, I love it.
Who's the family? Do you want to say hello to the family?
Oh, I certainly do. Yeah, there's a crowd at home actually now. They'll be listening to this. So it's Mum and Dad, that's Peg and Pat Power, my brother, and his partner Sinead Shannon from Lismore.
And what's your brother's name?
Brian is my brother, Brian. And then we have Joyce, Peter, and her 2 girls, Megan and Juliet.
And where's Mum and Dad living?
Living in Kilmeaden.
Lovely. And they're fully delighted and thrilled that you're doing this.
Delighted. Yeah, no, they've been a major support, and I suppose they're the backbone of my upbringing. And I suppose I owe a lot of to where I am here today for support through school, through college, and I suppose continued support to different events that I do.
We haven't even had a chance to talk properly about the dyslexia. We might get you in another day in terms of, because that's a very important aspect of how you have formulated your life, as you say, with something that could be and has been, I presume, at certain stages, a difficult thing, but you've turned it into a positive.
That's it. Do you know what I mean? Use and work to your strengths, and focus in on things that you enjoy. Like, school wasn't maybe a major success for me overall. I didn't do a great leaving cert, couldn't concentrate, because again, the topics weren't suited to a person who learned differently. It's not that I have learned differently, I just learned different to others.
Yeah. It's lovely meeting you, genuinely lovely. I'm delighted, and you've inspired me now. Genuinely, I'm going to leave here now. I'm going to try and do something that you're saying, so thanks.
Good, thanks so much. And that's my whole emphasis, to really improve one person at a time.
Colman, thanks. Good luck.
Thank you.
Talk to you later. Good luck now. Bye now. Shake hands. Shake those seeds there for a second. Shake the seeds up to the microphone. There you go.